My name is Melissa Griffing. I am located in Dallas, Texas, and I've lived here my whole life. So native born, never left. I went to college, but that's okay. And my background is in child therapy. So I am a licensed professional counselor, and I have a special certification in working with kids called a registered play therapist. What got me curious about parent coaching is it's an interesting story. It's actually something I've been very passionate about forever. I remember when I was in high school, I did a lot of philanthropy and I was working with some kids. I've always worked with kids. My mom's a pediatrician, so like kind of runs in the family. I always knew I would work with kids in some way. And I remember working with some kids that were lower socioeconomic status, just struggling families. And I remember thinking, like, gosh, these kids they're really great. They have so much potential. They are really intelligent. They could do anything. And the piece that I found that was missing was proper parenting, because I always felt that parenting was a skill that we could be taught and learned because it's so researched. Um, that it's not something that comes super natural to most people. And so I remember at like 15, I said to my mom, I was like, these kids just need parents that know what they're doing. And unfortunately, it's not that readily available for people. So all the way back then, I knew I was passionate about parenting. And as I continued in my career and I was working with kids in the therapeutic setting, and just getting that experience, it just continued to drive home that parenting was key to helping these kids become the best versions of themselves. JAI was kind of an easy decision for me when I was looking for a parent certification course. Something that I was trained and taught. I had excellent supervision that most people cannot say they had. So I was very lucky. And something that I learned was if you want to do something that's kind of a little bit outside of therapy, you can do it, but you have to have a certification or special training to back you up on it. I started with a sleep consulting certification first because sleep and anxiety with kids just goes hands in hand. And then I have always done parenting through my LPC, but the courses that I was using are good, but kind of for a specific population. So I needed something else. And so as I was researching, I looked at JAI and I looked at the credentialing and I looked at the resources that JAI uses, and they're the same resources that I'm already using. So that was a no-brainer for me. I was like, oh, great. I know these people. I'm familiar with all of these resources. It was so easy to integrate what I learned through JAI into my practice because it was already so aligned with my beliefs and how I view parenting and what my values are. And so JAI gave me that extra set of resources. As a therapist, when you go through year after year of therapy, you start to like, I'm running out of resources. I need more, I need fresh stuff. And so JAI gave me that little boost of like, okay, this is what I already know and what I already love and what I already value. And here's a new way to look at it. Here's a new way to say it. So it was super easy to integrate into my practice. I have already used it with probably a dozen parents, and the feedback has been phenomenal. Everyone is like, this is really great, that this has been so helpful. It has been, in a lot of cases, it's using a parenting course with the parents when you're doing child therapy is more helpful than having the kid in the playroom. So the main benefit for having the certification as a therapist in working with kids is that I have a program. Well, there's actually quite a few benefits. I have a program that is succinct and a set number of courses and a set number of days, and parents like that. Parents are like, I can commit to this. I know when it starts, I know when it ends. We're busy as parents. We can't just like forever do therapy. So this is a nice, like, got a little bow on it, wrap it up. We feel good about it. The other big benefit that we have is that when we work with kids, it's never just the kid. It is very much a whole family approach. There's something going on with parenting probably 95% of the time. And so I'm kind of unique in the way of the fact that I love working with parents. A lot of play therapists are like, no, give me the kid, but I don't want to deal with the parent, because us parents can be difficult. We have a lot of opinions about what we want to do with our kids. And so I really enjoy working with the parents because I get to say, hey, look, I'm on your team. This is something that is going to benefit you, it's going to benefit the kids, and this is more powerful. If I can teach you what I know, then you can kind of do what I do with your child in the playroom, but at home. And that's gonna go a lot longer than anything I can do once a week for 45 minutes at a time. I struggled. I mean, it's funny because people always assume that as a play therapist, I'm like fine as a parent, right? Like I've got it all together. And that's not the case. Like we're therapists because we have our own struggles. So Jai has impacted my own parenting in the way that I really struggled with patience. And I think the biggest way is, again, as therapists, we're all pretty like highly sensitive people. We feed on people's emotions. We can feel other people's emotions. Most of us can. And so when you have kids that have big emotions, that directly impacts my emotions and my regulation. And so that was one of the biggest things that Jai gave me was a new way to look at my own personal regulation and how to manage that so I could manage my kids. That I think that was the biggest impact. And I'm still working on it. It's not perfect, but but that's okay. As a parent with some anxiety, thinking of the future relationship with my kids has always been the forefront of my mind. My worst fear is to get to my child's adulthood and then my kids like disown me or look back and say like you really messed up in this way or something, or have to go to therapy because I did something wrong. Things something like that, which they will. I'll pay for it later, it's fine. But I think that having the tools that Jai has given me, I have a better chance at kind of, protecting that relationship for the future. And then also the peace of mind knowing that I have done all that I can and I have done the best that I can. And I went the extra mile to get that extra training, and really understand myself. And I can live with that in the future. If for whatever reason, if my kids are like, I'm really mad at you for this, I can at least say, I really did give it my best effort. I am so excited to use my Jai tools going forward. I know I haven't quite graduated yet, but I have actually already created a workbook that ties in Jai, everything with Jai. It's very similar to Jai. And of course I've referenced all of Jai. But then I also have other parenting programs that I've used just being a therapist. So I've kind of pulled all my favorite pieces together and created this 12-week long workbook, again, heavily modeled off of Jai. I've got videos to go with it already. So I'm really excited about, on the business side of being able to have something that's a bit more passive income. People can just buy it and purchase it if they want, and have it ready to go. And then I think what I'm most excited about is being able to move into more of a parenting approach. My practice is growing. I've got 3 other therapists that work here. And so I'm starting to get to move into the things that I really, really love, which is parent training. And then my other therapists are doing the play therapy and the teen therapy. And so I'm really excited about being able to offer a model at my practice where we can see your kid, yes, but then like, here's this other piece that we do where I can work with the parents, and it's a very whole family collaborative approach where the whole family gets seen as opposed to just the kid or just the parents. And so I'm really excited about that, being able to say, okay, mom, dad, let's do this 12-week parenting program. Here's your workbook, here's your video, but then like, let's meet one-on-one once a week as well and really dive into you and your parenting and all of that. So I think that's what I'm most excited about coming up. I would just say that, Jai is, again, very aligned therapeutically in general. And one of the things that I often struggled with going over this in our training, that I would talk to Rebecca about is I was like, okay, where's the line between therapy and training? Like where's the line here? And I think that's a hard one. But what I like about that is that the resources Jai has pulled together and the way Jai trains parents, there's such a value there for parents being able to look into themselves and grow within themselves. And that's, although it's difficult with that line of like therapy versus psychoeducation or coaching, the value is there. And so I think that's really cool that Jai has just created this thing that is so valuable.